Dr. Toran Darell stood motionless before the viewscreen, watching the slow orbit of stars beyond. The quiet paranoia of the Foundation Council echoed in his thoughts. They were all afraid, not of external enemies, but of an invisible hand guiding their actions. The Second Foundation. It was not myth. It had to exist. Darell turned away from the stars, eyes narrowing. His colleagues trusted data, but he trusted instinct. The Foundation's recent triumphs felt too perfect. A hidden intelligence was helping them, bending events subtly. That intelligence had to be rooted out, or the Foundation's freedom would remain a facade. In the quiet chamber lined with hollow books, Dr. Darell reopened the secret recordings of Ebling Miss, the long-dead psychologist who had once come close to discovering the Second Foundation's location. Miss had died before he could reveal it, struck down at the moment of revelation. Darell replayed the files obsessively, searching for fragments of meaning. Patterns emerged, not of words, but of pauses and nervous ticks. Someone had been guiding Miss's thoughts, even manipulating his mind. Darrell's fingers hovered over a data slate. If he couldn't find the Second Foundation with logic, he would find them with intuition and psychology. Around a dim table, Darell met with Pelias Anthor and two other trusted scientists, all sworn to secrecy. The Second Foundation's influence had to be real, they agreed. The theory was dangerous, but the signs were undeniable. Anthor leaned in, eyes intense. He proposed an expedition, something quiet and off the official record, to track down the location hinted in the dying thoughts of Ebling Miss. Darell hesitated, knowing the path could lead them into a mental trap. But if they waited, the Second Foundation would grow stronger. Their mission was born that night, to hunt the hidden guardians. 14-year-old Arcadia Darell crouched silently behind the partition in her father's study, listening. She had always known he was hiding something important, and now she had proof. A mission, a secret one. Something about minds and a second place, Second Foundation. She whispered the words. They felt ancient, dangerous. The urge to act pulsed through her like electricity. She couldn't be left out. She wouldn't let him go without her knowing more. Arcadia's mind worked fast. If she followed the right threads, she could solve the puzzle before the adults did. And maybe, just maybe, save her father from it. Arcadia Darell, carrying only a small bag and a head full of determination, slipped aboard the Starliner with the forged identity of a diplomat's niece. She had left behind a message for her father, vague enough not to lead him after her, but clear enough to tell him she had her own path to follow. Pelias Anthor, unaware of Arcadia's presence, boarded the same vessel under orders to lead the scientific team to Kalgan. It was there, he believed, the key to the Second Foundation could be found. Neither knew how closely the Second Foundation already watched them. Kalgan gleamed under its artificial skies, a decadent planet ruled by a militaristic regime, still basking in echoes of the Mule's legacy. Anthor met with Kalgan's leaders under pretense of cultural research, while his true goal remained hidden, to sift through the Mule's archives, hoping for overlooked references to the Second Foundation. Arcadia, disguised and unnoticed, moved independently through the lower sectors, gathering information from whispers and obsolete databanks. She found anomalies, people who remembered things differently than the official records. Arcadia began to suspect the Second Foundation was not just hiding. It was actively rewriting history. Arcadia's intrusion did not go unnoticed for long. Kalgan's secret police, ever wary of espionage, apprehended her. She was interrogated by the chief commissioner, a man with soft words and a cold mind. He found her presence suspicious, especially her curiosity about the Mule's era. But Arcadia spun a convincing story, an orphan girl tracing her lost lineage to the Mule's court. The commissioner wavered. She was either an innocent with dangerous interests or a well-trained spy. He let her go, but marked her. Meanwhile, far above Kalgan's surface, unknown observers noted the encounter and shifted their plans subtly. Pelias and Thor unearthed a recording buried deep in the Mule's personal databanks. It was scrambled and corrupted, but a phrase repeated in the static, "The Second Foundation lies at." The remainder was lost. Anthor's hands trembled as he replayed the fragment. The Mule had known their location, or had nearly known it, but someone had tampered with the file. He brought the evidence to Dr. Darell via secure channel. Darell listened in silence, mind racing. If the Mule had come that close, then the answer was within reach. But so was danger. Someone had erased that truth for a reason. Arcadia, realizing the net was closing in, made her way to a covert transmitter left over from the Mule's rebellion. Risking detection, she sent a tight beam message across the stars, addressed only to her father. It carried her warning. The Second Foundation was not only real but active on Kalgan. She urged him not to trust anyone, especially Anthor. The transmission was traced, forcing her into hiding. Somewhere, minds with no name noted the act and smiled inwardly. Arcadia believed she was acting freely, but the thought had been placed there gently and long ago, with surgical precision. Dr. Darell received Arcadia's message and the file fragment simultaneously. He called in the remaining members of the original conspiracy. Anthor listened carefully, too carefully, as Darell laid out the plan. He had built a device, the mental static field generator, designed to block psychic interference. If used correctly, it could strip a mind of Second Foundation influence, or reveal one already under their control. The team agreed to test it. Anthor tried to protest, subtly, but failed. As the machine activated, Darell watched his face. There was no resistance, but there was fear. That was all the confirmation he needed. Confronted, Pelias Anthor broke. He had been a sleeper agent of the Second Foundation, sent to monitor the Foundation's progress and prevent destabilizing moves. His memories of training and loyalty returned like an avalanche. He claimed that their role had been protective, not dominating. But Darell dismissed his pleas. Anthor was sedated and imprisoned, while Darell publicly declared victory. The Second Foundation had been uncovered and destroyed from within. The news spread rapidly. Confidence in the Foundation surged, but high above, in an unseen place, a silent observer marked the moment and noted how smoothly the illusion had succeeded. Months later, Dr. Darell walked alone through the halls of his home, satisfied that his daughter was safe and the threat was ended. Yet a part of him remained uneasy. The evidence had been too clean, the fall of Anthor too convenient. He replayed the Mule's recording again. The Second Foundation lies at... The static buzzed, but this time Darell heard something new, a tone in the background, an echo like laughter. Meanwhile, on the distant planet Trantor, deep in the ruins of the old empire, the minds of the Second Foundation met in silence. Their location remained intact, their plan unchanged.